extended our work with proportions to percent proportions today. I'm going to do problem number 2. Sammy's salary is $1,200 per week. From this amount, he pays $480 for Social Security and other taxes. What percent of his salary goes for Social Security and other taxes? So we talked a lot today about many ways to solve percent problems, but the way that I like best is a percent table. It's just like a ratio table, except one of the categories will be percent. In this case, we have dollars and percent. So the $1,200 is, I got a new writing tablet. I think it's going to be better, but I'm still getting used to it. The $1,200 is 100% of Sammy's salary, and we want to know what percent the $480 is. So that's our unknown, x. The reason I like a percent ratio table is because no matter what kind of problem you have, as long as you know there's always going to be 100% somewhere in the percent column, and as long as you can assign the correct value to the 100%, or maybe the 100% amount is the amount that you don't know, and so you assign x to that amount, then once you set up the table, you can set the proportion up directly from the table. I'm not going to do it because I want you to do it during the pause, but the proportion looks exactly like the table. 1200 over 480 equals 100 over x. And then you can just solve using cross products, or maybe there's a scale factor. Try to use one of those methods or a method of your own during the pause, and then come back and see how you did.
Paused.
So I'm going to do it in the least efficient way first for a reason. I'm just going to set up this proportion 1200 over 480 is equal to 100 over x. And then I'm going to pretend I don't notice any scale factors or any way I can simplify anything, and I'm just going to write my cross product equation. 1200 multiplied by x is equal to 480 multiplied by 100. I was tempted to just write 48,000, but in the same way that we substituted dimensions into our formula when we did geometry, I think it's best to write your proportion as an algebraic equation, and then write the cross product equation without doing any computation. Just write the equation, this factor multiplied by this factor equals this other factor multiplied by this other factor, and then from there you can simplify and solve. So 1200x is equal to, now I'll multiply that, 48,000. And then I need to identify the variable, I need to divide by 1200 on both sides. That will give me 1x, which is what I want because 1x is x. And I can just factor out 100 hundredths here. So it's 480 divided by 12, which is 40. Also, in the same way that we would write when we would identify a dimension in a geometry problem, we would write the dimension on the figure. It's good to write your answer in your table and just see whether it makes sense. 480 is less than half of 1200, 40 is less than half of 100. Just make sure your answer seems reasonable in the table. Now I want to point out some things we could have done to make this a lot easier. First of all, I could have just noticed that there's a scale factor here. Going from here to here is dividing by 12 or multiplying by a 12th. And so I could have applied that scale factor and multiply 480 by 1/12. And 40 divided by 12 is 40. So I could get x equals 40 that way. I also could take this ratio and simplify it. Factor out 10/10, divide both by 12, so that's 10 over 4, which is 5 over 2. And when you look at the proportion after you simplify one of the factors, one of the ratios. I lost track of what I was doing there, sorry. I'm trying to just rewrite this proportion with this simplified ratio on the left side. So this really should be 100 over x. Then the scale factor jumps out even more. This is multiplied by 20. This is multiplied by 20. If you can simplify one of your fractions, often a very convenient scale factor will jump out at you. And so 2 times 20 is 40. I know the way you solved these mostly last year was percent proportion. So you would say 480 is the part and 1200 is the whole. So 480 over 1200 equals what percent? X being the what and percent being out of 100. So if you look at our cross products, we still have 480 multiplied by 100, just like we do in the other way we did it, and equals 1200 multiplied by X. So if you're comfortable with that method, go ahead and use it. I would like you to try to embrace the table, because I think the table is more versatile. And it's easier to place the values in the proper place using the table. I don't know. It's debatable. As long as you're getting the right answer and you understand your method, it's all good. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you tomorrow.